Vice President JD Vance praised the cryptocurrency industry as the keynote speaker at the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas Wednesday. And he promised full support for the industry from the White House. CBS News' Andres Gutierrez is there.
Vice President JD Vance joined the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas to sing the praises of cryptocurrency.
We're talking about genuine, ground-up innovation, one that's already improving the well-being of tens of millions of our fellow citizens.
The vice president is the highest-ranked politician at this year's conference. President Trump's two sons, Don Jr. and Eric, were there too.
With President Trump, crypto finally has a champion and an ally in the White House.
The president was initially skeptical of Bitcoin and called it a scam, but his second term brought a change of heart. Bitcoin's value has rocketed over $100,000. It's mostly held as an investment, but major companies from Whole Foods to Amazon accept it as payment. The administration's crypto enthusiasm has raised some eyebrows on Capitol Hill. After the president hosted a dinner for his meme coins investors, Senator Elizabeth Warren accused him of corruption.
Donald Trump is using the presidency of the United States to make himself richer through crypto, and he's doing it right out there in plain sight.
Vice President Vance says the administration's biggest contribution to the famously volatile crypto industry has been rejecting regulators, and that Bitcoin is here to stay. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
For more, Brady Dale joins us. He's a crypto reporter for Axios and author of the Axios Crypto Newsletter. So thank you so much for being here in Studio 57. Yeah. You write that last year, Trump made big news at the conference. He announced essentially wanting a national stockpile of Bitcoin. This year, we heard Vance say, quote, "We're ending the weaponization of federal regulations against this community." What does he mean by that, and what are the administration's plans?
So, you know, there was kind of a Kafka-esque situation in the Biden administration where, like, the SEC and the DOJ would go after legal crypto companies that weren't doing anything wrong, you know, no fraud, no stealing, and saying you failed to register with our government agencies. And those companies would be like, great, how do we register? And they'd be like, there's no way to register. So I think that's what he's saying is we're not going to prosecute people for not following rules that don't exist. And in fact, you know, while people talk about Trump deregulating crypto, his administration is in fact just writing the rules the industry has been asking for a long time.
Andres mentioned that President Trump's two sons were there too. Why is the family so interested and now invested in crypto?
Okay, so that's a whole other issue, right? And I don't really know. I mean, what's really interesting is that the sons are building a Bitcoin mining company. And if you follow this issue, you know that while Bitcoin holders are making a lot of money right now, Bitcoin miners are having a hard time. So that suggests, like, maybe the sons know something the rest of us don't know. You know, I don't really know. I mean, the best way you could make Bitcoin more profitable in the U.S. is if big new sources of energy that were cheap came online for them. We don't know where those are coming from, but maybe the sons do. I mean, I don't mean to make a conspiracy theory here, but we don't know what they know, but they seem to be very optimistic about the future.
What pushback has the administration seen? I mean, we heard from Senator Warren there. Has it only been from Democrats? Anybody in the finance world who are skeptical of crypto?
Well, when you talk to Republicans about, I mean, there's two issues here. It's like, you know, the rules for the crypto industry, setting those regulations, and that's, you know, a lot of people are for that. But when you start talking to folks about the money the Trump family is making off of this industry, you know, a lot of eyebrows get raised. I don't talk to a lot of Republican members, but I talk to their staffers, and they are like, he is making things harder for us, right? Because we've never really had a president who is actively making money on really anything
Harder
before.
For us, what, to defend?
Harder for us to move legislation forward. It becomes easier for the critics of this legislation to criticize it.
Why are GOPers seemingly grasping onto crypto?
Well, so I think the big thing is the GOP realized, I mean, a lot of people are making a lot of money off of this. The U.S. could make most of that money. That would be good for American citizens. And I think they also realized that there are a lot of people who will vote pro-crypto. And while the Democrats going anti-crypto, that gets them a bunch of headlines and stuff, no one really votes anti-crypto. They vote on other issues that they care about, you know. But there are people who will vote pro-crypto, and the Republicans figured that out.
So they're seeing it as something that can drive a wedge and give them maybe a leg up politically, too. All right, Brady Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you.